This is 1 Kings 5, 2 Chronicles 2 and 3. Oh, 1 Kings 5 and 6. Then, so where we're at in the story, we've got Solomon building the temples. Okay, that's where we're at. And this is chronological Bible study, so you're going to get Proverbs, Psalms sprinkled throughout the story. And the king of, and Hiram, the king of Tyre, sent his servants unto Solomon, for he had heard that they anointed him king in the room of his father, for David was a lover of David. And Solomon sent Hiram, saying, Thou knowest how David my father could not build the house unto the name of Jehovah his God, for the wars which they were about him on every side, until Jehovah put them under the soles of his feet. But now Jehovah my God hath given me rest on every side, so that there is neither adversary nor evil occurrent. And behold, I purpose to build a house unto the name of Jehovah my God, as the Jehovah spoke unto David my father, saying, Thy son, whom I will set upon thy throne in thy room, he shall build a house unto my name. Now therefore command thou that they hew me cedar trees out of Lebanon, that my servants shall be with thy servants, and unto thee I will give hire for thy servants according to all thou hast appoint. For thou knowest that there is not among us that can skill to hew timber like unto the Sidonians. And it came to pass, when Hiram heard the words of Solomon, that he rejoiced greatly, because blessed be Jehovah this day, which hath given unto David a wise son over his great people. And Hiram sent to Solomon, saying, I have considered the things which thou sentest for me, and I will do all thy, make sure I turn one page, desire concerning the timber of cedar, and concerning the timber of fir. My servants shall bring them down from Lebanon unto thee, and I will convey them to the sea in floats, and place thou shalt appoint me, and will cause them to discharge there, and thou shalt receive them, and thou shalt be accomplish my desire in giving food for my household. So Hiram gave Solomon cedar trees and fir trees according to all his desire. And Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 measures of wheat for food for his household, and 20 measures of pure oil, and Solomon unto Hiram year by year. And Jehovah gave Solomon wisdom, and he promised him that there would be peace between Hiram and Solomon, and they two would make league together. And King Solomon raised a levy out of all of Israel, and the levy was 30,000 men. And he sent them to Lebanon, 10,000 a month by course a month, and they were in Lebanon for 2 months at home. And Adoniram was over the levy. And Solomon had 70,010 that bare burdens, and 80,000 hewers in the mountains, besides the chief Solomon's officers which were over the work, 3,300 which ruled over the people that wrought in the work. And the king commanded, and they brought the great stones, costly stones, and huge stones, to lay the foundation of the house. And Solomon's builder and Hiram builder did hew them, and the stone corners, stone squares, so that they prepared timber and stones to build the house. And it came to pass, 408th year after the children of Israel were come out of the land of Egypt, the 480th year, the children of Israel were come out of the land of Egypt, in the 4th year of Solomon reign over Israel, in the month of Ziph, which is in the 2nd month, that he began to build the house of Jehovah. And the house which the king Solomon built for Jehovah, and the length thereof was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof was 20 cubits, and the height thereof 30 cubits. And the porch before the temple of the house was 20 cubits. And the length thereof, according to the breadth of the house, was 10 cubits, and the breadth there before the house For the house he made windows and narrow lights. And against the wall of the house he built chambers around about, and against the walls of the house round about, both the temple and the oracle. And he made the chambers round about. The nethermost chamber was 5 cubits broad, and the middle was 6 cubits broad, and the third was 7 cubits broad. For without in the wall of the house he made narrow net rests, and round about, and the beams should all be fastened in the walls of the house. And the walls, when it was in the building, it was built of stone, made ready for it and brought hither, so that there was neither hammer, nor axe, nor tool of iron heard in the house while it was in the building. And the door was the middle chamber, and it was in the right side of the house. And it went up the winding stairs into the middle chamber, and out of the middle into the third. So he built the house and finished it, and covered the house with beams and boards of cedar. And when he built chambers against the house in the 5 cubits high, and they rested on the house with the timber of cedar, and the word of Jehovah came to Solomon, saying, concerning this house, which thou art building, if thou wilt walk in my statutes and execute my judgments and keep all my commandments to walk in them, then I will perform my word with thee, which I spoke unto David thy father. And I dwell among the children of Israel, and will not forsake my people. There's a promise, folks. There's a promise. Praise Yah. So Solomon built the house and finished it. Now, but look what he said. Walk in my statutes, my commandments. Almost every video I talk about the difference between God's law and the one that was heaped on people because they're messing up. That's what Paul's talking about. When he talks about the bad part of the law, he's talking about the one that they earned through transgressions. There's 2 covenants, folks. 2. That's what Galatians 4 is talking about. And I will dwell among the children of Israel and will not forsake my people Israel. So Solomon built the house and he finished it. And he built the walls of the house within the borders of the cedar, and both the floor of the house and the ceiling. And he covered them on the inside with wood, and covered the floor and the house with planks of fir. And he built 20 cubits on the side of the house, both the floor and the walls with boards of cedar. And he built them for it within, even the holy oracle, even the most holy place. And the house, that is, the temple before it, was 40 cubits long. And the cedar of the house within, which was carved with knops and open flowers, was cedar, and there was no stone seen. And the oracle he prepared in the house within was set to the ark of the covenant of Jehovah. The ark of the covenant. And the oracle in the forepart was 20 cubits in length, and 20 cubits in breadth, and 20 cubits in height thereof. And he overlaid it with pure gold, so it covered the altar, which was of cedar. So Solomon overlaid the house within in pure gold, and he made a partition by the chains of gold before the oracle, and he laid it with gold. And the whole house overlaid with gold until he had finished all the house. Also the whole altar was by the oracle overlaid with gold. And within the oracle he made 2 cherubims of olive tree, and each 10 cubits high. 10 cubits high. And 5 cubits was one of the wings of the cherub, and 5 cubits was the other wings of the cherub. From the uttermost part of the wing unto the uttermost part of the other were 10 cubits. And the other cherub was 10 cubits, and the cherubims were measured in one size. The height of one cherub was 10 cubits, so it was out of the other cherub. And he set the cherubims within the inner house, and they stretched forth the wings of the cherubims, so that the wing of one touched another wall, and the wing of the other touched the other wall. And the wings touched one another in the midst of the house, in the middle of the house. And he overlaid the cherubims with gold, and he carved all the walls of the carved round about with carved figures of cherubims and palm trees, and open flowing within and without. And the floor of the house he overlaid with gold, and within and without. And the entering of the oracle he made doors of olive tree, and lintel and the side posts were a 5th part of the wall. And 2 doors were of the olive tree, and he carved upon them carvings of cherubims and palm trees and open flowers, and overlaid them with gold, and spread gold on the cherubims and upon the palm trees. So he also made for the door of the temple of olive tree in a 4th part of the wall. And the 2 doors were fir tree, and the 2 leaves of one door were folding, and the 2 leaves of the other door were folding. And he carved thereon cherubims and palm trees and open flowers, and covered them with gold, and fitted upon the carved work. And he built the inner court with 3 rows of hewn stone and a row of cedar beams. And in the 4th year was the foundation of the house laid in the Mount Ziph. And when the 11th year in the month, and when the 11th year in the month of Bul, which is the 8th month, so that'd be like in October-ish, and the house finished throughout, and all the parts thereof according to the fashion of it. So he was 7 years in the building of it. But Solomon was building his own house 13 years, and he finished all his house. He built also the house of the forest of Lebanon, and the length thereof was 100 cubits. And the breadth thereof was 50 cubits, and the height thereof was 30 cubits. And upon 4 rows of cedar pillars, and the beams and upon the pillars. And it was covered with cedar above the beams that lay on 45 pillars, 15 in a row. And there were windows in the 3 rows, and light there was against the light in the 3 ranks. And all the doors and posts were square, and the windows and light against it in the 3 ranks. And he made a porch of pillars, and the length there was 50 cubits. And there was 30 cubits, and the porch was before them, and the other pillars. And the thick beams were before them. Oh, that's this. I'm into 7 now. Okay, so that is the calling of the building of the temple in Kings. Now we're going to go listen to pretty much the same story in Chronicles, I believe. Okay, so this is Second Chronicles. I'm going to Second Chronicles. Okay, Second Chronicles 2. Make sure I'm in the right spot. Would not be the first time I messed that up. And Solomon determined to build a house for the name of Jehovah, for a house for his kingdom. And Solomon told out the 70,000 men to bear burdens, and 80,000 to hew in the mountain, and 3,600 to oversee them. And Solomon sent to Huram, the king of Tyre, saying, As thou didst deal with David my father, and didst send him cedars to build him a house to dwell therein, even so deal with me. Behold, I build a house unto the name of Jehovah my God, to dedicate it to him, and to burn before him sweet incense, for a continual showbread, and for the burnt offerings in the morning and the evening, on the Sabbaths, and on the new moons, and on the solemn feasts of Jehovah our God. This is an ordinance forever to Israel. And the house which I build is great, for great is our God above all gods. But who is able to build him a house, seeing the heavens of heaven cannot contain him? Who am I then that I should build him a house, save only to burn sacrifices for him? Send me now, therefore, a man of cunning work in gold, and silver, and brass, and iron, and purple, and crimson, and blue, that I can skill to grave with the cunning men that are with me in Judah and in Jerusalem, who David my father did provide. Send me also cedar trees, fir trees, algum trees, out of Lebanon, for I know that thy servants can skill to cut the timber in Lebanon, and behold it, my servants shall be with thy servants, even to prepare me timber in abundance for the house, which I am about to build, and shall be wonderful and great. And behold, I will give it to thy servants, the hewers that cut timber, 20,000 measures of beaten wheat, and 20,000 measures of barley, and 20,000 baths of wine, and 20,000 baths of oil. The Hiram, king of Tyre, answered in writing, which he sent to Solomon, because Jehovah hath loved thy people, he hath made thee king over them. Hiram said, moreover, blessed be Jehovah, God of Israel, that made heaven and earth, who hath given David king and a wise and endued with the prudence and understanding, that he may build a house for Jehovah, and a house for his kingdom. Now I have sent thee, cunning man, endued with understanding, that Hiram my fathers, and the sons of the woman of the daughters of Dan, and his fathers was out of Tyre, skillful work in gold and in silver and in brass, in iron and stone and in timber, in purple and blue, and in fine linen and in crimson. I have graved thy manner of graving, and to find out every device which shall be put to him with cunning men. They, the cunning men of Lord David my father. Therefore, the wheat and the barley and the oil of wine, which my Lord has spoken of, let him send unto his servants, and he will cut the wood out of Lebanon as much as thou shalt need. And he will bring it to 3 floats by the sea to Joppa, and thou shalt carry it up to Jerusalem. And the Solomon numbered all the strangers that were in the land of Israel, and after the number wherewith David his father had numbered them. And they were found 150,000 and 3,600. And he set 70,000 men to be beaters, and burdens of 80 men to be hewers in the mountains, and 3,600 overseers to set the people a work. Chapter 3. Solomon began to build the house of Jehovah at Jerusalem and in Mount Moriah, where Jehovah appeared unto David his father in the place that David had appeared in the threshing floor of Ornan, the Jebusite. And he began to build in the 2nd day of the 2nd month of the 4th year of his reign. Now these are the things wherein Solomon instructed for the building of the house of God. The length of by cubits after the first measure was 80 cubits, and the breadth there 20 cubits, and the porch in the front of the house, and the length according to the breadth of the house was 20 cubits, and the height was 120, and he overlaid it in pure gold. And greater house he circled with fir trees, which he overlaid with fine gold, and set thereon the palm trees and the chains. And he garnished the house with precious stones for beauty. And gold was of gold of Purvaim. He overlaid also the house with beams and the posts, and the walls thereof, and the doors thereof, with gold, and graved the cherubims on the walls. He made the most holy house. The length thereof was, according to the breadth of the house, 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 20 cubits, and he overlaid it with fine gold, amounting to 600 talents. And the weight of the nails was 50 shekels of gold, and he overlaid the upper chambers with gold. And in the most holy house he made 2 cherubims of image work, and overlaid them with gold. And the wings of the cherubims were 20 cubits long, and one wing of the cherubim was 5 cubits, reaching unto the wall of the house. And the other wing was likewise 5 cubits, reaching to the wing of the other cherub. And one wing of the other cherub was 5 cubits, reaching to the wall of the house, and the other was 5 cubits also, joining the wings of the other cherub. The wings of these cherubim spread themselves forth 20 cubits, and they stood on their feet, and their feet were inward. And he made a veil of blue and purple and crimson and fine linen, and wrought the cherubims thereon. He made before the house 2 pillars of 35 cubits high, and the chapter that was on the top of each was 5 cubits. Okay, a chapter on the top. Okay, so in an architectural sense, you've got a pillar, a column, and then you've got a piece sitting on top. And then your lintel will go across that. So that's what a chapter is. And it was on the top of each of 5 cubits. And he made chains in the oracle, and he put them on the heads of the pillar, and he made 100 pomegranates and put them on the chains. And he reared up the pillars before the temple, and on the right hand, on the other left hand. And the name on the right hand was Jason, and the name on the left was Boaz. So there we go. That is 2 Chronicles 2 and 3. Also, 1 Kings 5 and 6. That's day 162 in the Blue Letter Bible app. Bible in a Year. Praise Yah. Okay. There's probably some stuff in there of significance, but we will, that's just one of those days of information. Praise Yah.